Greeting interwebs, this is Jackie K and welcome back to another edition of Pokemon Colosseum. In the last episode, we attempted to fight Ian and lost, so I did a bit of training. Also Yang involved. In this episode, we will take on Ian and hopefully win this time. After I do a little item assortment and give my Pokemon the items they need. Though if I'm taking it this seriously, I am probably overthinking things. A Cherry Berry might not be a bad idea to have on any of my Pokemon, considering how we saw in the last episode, Ian likes to use electric type moves. At least I assume we did. I know we didn't get very far into the fight, so we might not even got to see any of his electric Pokemon yet. But let's try our best anyways. Good, this has been scrubbed of the data, that's done it. Done like dinner. I don't know how we got in without your nose, especially with this alarm that keeps going. I guess not even my little Dazzle could handle this alarm any longer. That would explain why I decided not to record sound for this episode. Not necessarily why I did all of a sudden decide to stop recording sound for the previous episode, but I guess I was dreading hearing the alarm again that much. Yay for giving personification to inanimate objects. Enough about that though, we have a battle to fight. And here's my plan. Put any sort of threat to sleep ASAP. Use a quick claw to hopefully get the edge on getting everything asleep. Fortress will tank everything until the time comes where we can sweep with everything asleep. That is my ideal plan. Let's see how well it executes. Even with Puffluck, my jump bluffs, things seem to be going smoothly. Maybe we get both his Pokemon to sleep, and that Golbat that could have been a threat with his Confused Ray is no longer a threat. I can probably actually get out of the Pokemon to actually do more damage at this point, or I could stay in and Mega Drain things. So I actually go for both, getting Fortress out there for Yang. You'll see why in a sec, and Puffluck's confusion kind of stops it from doing anything this particular turn. So my ideal plan is just to get any health back that I'm losing from this confusion with Mega Drain, and start setting up with Yang. If Yang can get enough Calm Minds, then very few things on this guy's team could do anything. And Confusion would actually be strong enough to take out this Golbat. Like I said, few things. I never said all things. But hopefully if I get my Calm Minds up fast enough, I can take out this Golbat before it can take out Yang. Losing Jump Bluff this early on would have been a setback, however I do happen to be prepared and have revival items on hand for when we need them. Question is if I will have enough to last this entire battle, because considering that even with all the training I did, I'm still under level, I get the feeling that Pokemon are going to be going down a lot in this fight. Just like that! Isn't that wonderful? The Pokemon that was supposed to be the most bulky thing in my team went down to a Hydro Pump in the rain, and it was a Hydro Pump, but still. And Yang barely even lived that hit, and that was just a wing attack. I'm really pushing my luck here, but I have faith that I will be able to get the confusion off and take out the Golbat, especially if I rely on the healing items. Cause sure, if I went and grinded a bit more, I could probably do this fight without items, but it took a lot to get my Pokemon to the levels they currently are. At least 2 to 3 battles in Pirate Colosseum, a battle in Paniax Colosseum, and a battle in the Under Colosseum. So that's at least 4 whole Colosseums, if not 5, and each of those Colosseums had 4 battles each. And the Colosseum battles themselves were fairly equal, if not higher, to my own levels. So I don't know how I could make that any faster. I mean, Mount Battle is an option, but it's actually not that good of an option if you don't take the time to go through all the low-level areas. Something I didn't really have the patience for, especially when I needed money as much as I needed the experience. Because I've mentioned before several times that for some reason I have more issue with money in Colosseum than any other Pokemon game I've played. But then again, I haven't played the really old generation games like the original Red, Blue, Yellow, and Gold and Silver. I mean, I could get in a little more details of that, but that's a story for another day. I've been going on that tangent, and I completely forgot to mention the fact that Eon's specialty is using Rain Dance, and then combining it with Thunder. For those of you who don't know, Thunder is a very powerful but fairly inaccurate move, so I tend not to use it. However, in the rain, Thunder gets perfect accuracy. I believe in this generation it's just 100 accuracy, but in future generations, I don't know exactly when it starts off the top of my head. I believe it becomes a perfect accuracy move and might even be able to get through Protect occasionally. That's at least what I read up on it a while ago. We'll need some scientific tests to actually prove that accurately. Funny enough that we're actually in an area with a scientist. Unfortunately, this is not a more recent generation that we can actually test all of our scientific theories. I do bring back Puffluck to hopefully put Pokemon to sleep, but it doesn't have enough health after being revived to actually do anything. Poor Puffluck. Its luck still kinda stinks even after the renaming I did. But Yang is still alive, and that's a good sign because Yang's got a lot of Calm Minds up, so it should be able to take a lot of those special hits, especially the Thunder. Just how do I want to approach this, because I want to get another Pokemon revive. I know a couple of these Pokemon, if not more than a couple, have Ice Beam. So I know Sahara's not going to be doing much in this fight. But if Sahara can get at least one ground hit off on Lantern, that might work to my advantage. It all depends on when the Pokemon with Ice Beam is coming out. And I believe it's out right now. Oh joy. At least Lantern will probably spend this turn getting up a Rain Dance. So that's one less thing I have to worry about. But do I have enough Calm Minds up to really start taking into action in that? Not after hurting myself in confusion like that. At least Sahara being 4 times weak to ice made him much more susceptible of a target than going after Yang, because if that Ice Beam would have hit Yang, this battle probably would have been over. So even though it sucks that Sahara got one shot, it was probably for the best. Let's see if Yang can not break out into confusion. Lovely. And I know exactly who that fly is going to go towards. I believe her name starts with a Y and ends with a Yang. And I meant to say Aang, but I guess that makes it a little more obvious who the target is. I know Cold Red will eventually be good for this fight because Dig allows it to hide under the ground, while Alteria's up in the air with Fly. If you can time it right, then that makes a very good opportunity to just keep avoiding its attacks while trying to finish off the Lantern. Though I believe that's what I did in a previous attempt, which I would include in this video, but this battle goes on for so long as is, even with speeding up parts of it, that I don't really want to even include any in the outtakes. I don't really recall anything too remarkable, and I already showed myself failing against this guy once in a previous episode. Guess it's just a matter of keeping on walling hits until we're all good. But how much longer can I wall the hits? My Pokemon aren't looking so keen in the health. At least I have the tech to delay the inevitable. And thankfully I break out of confusion so I can start applying that detect. And that critical hit does not help any matters whatsoever. That should make things quite annoying if I say so myself. Cause guess what other typing combination is quad weak to ice? If you guessed grass and flying, you are correct. And just in case it wasn't obvious, Puffluck is grass and flying. Sure, I might be able to finish off this land turn, but that victory won't be long last. Cause here comes the legendary Pokemon. Here comes the final part of the legendary beast trio. And yes, it is a shadow Pokemon, so we do gotta snake it like any other Pokemon. And I just lost the Pokemon that I put things to sleep with. Hooray! Well, if I can find a way to take out Altaria and get it down to 2-on-1, or the very worst situation 1-on-1, that could work out well to my advantage. But that requires taking out the Altaria first. Or is it Altaria? And as you can see by how much that confusion did, this could take a while. I do not think there are words that can emphasize how much of a lifesaver Detect was for me in this battle enough. I mean, especially with using Fly and not like a, I guess, wing attack. Detect was a savior in this fight, even with all the revival item spamming. I guess I sent out my Fortress because it's the only thing I have confidence in being able to take a hit. And even so, I have to use a Revival Herb. Though that Thunder misses, which will work out quite nicely. After thinking long and hard about it, I decided to revive Code Red. Because, 1, I can get a good chunk of damage off on Raikou, but since it's Dig, I don't have to worry about it being taken out. 2, because I'm using Dig, I could time it well to avoid Altaria Fly if it ever decides to attack Code Red, like I mentioned earlier on in the video. And combined with Fortress Protect, I could probably stall out the turns that I wouldn't be able to do anything against Ian anyways, to preserve my team for as long as I can. Hopefully so I can actually, you know, get Code Red in at full health. Unfortunately, that critical hit kind of disagrees with my plan, and I'm forced to send out Code Red now. But Yang did a good job with this fight. I gotta congratulate her for pulling out everything she was able to do in this fight. Now to hopefully see if my plans will work out to their full effect. Actually, I probably didn't trust myself with Dig, which would explain why I'm going for the Flame Wheel. That, or just the fact that Altaria hasn't left the ground yet, and I am confident that Code Red will outspeed the Altaria. Just like that. So I get a nice hit off, and in theory, I could dig underground when it goes up in the air next turn. And since Fortress is pretty defensive and bulky, it will go after Code Red, but I will be under the ground. Strategy, kids. Use it wisely. With a well-thought plan, you can achieve anything in life. As you can see, missing with a Thunder is also fairly useful, but the whole point of using Dig actually paid off. Hooray! And then Altaria is one step closer to going down. It would suck if this guy had potions, don't you agree? I actually haven't seen too many trainers in Pokemon Colosseum use healing items. We'll have to see if there's actually any trainers that actually do that, or if the developers of this game didn't know how to program trainers with the AI to use healing items. Cause if they've done it in the past, I've already forgotten. Yay for using Protect and it working out well. I think I'll rinse and repeat, although that could be fairly risky with the amount of health Raikou has left. Maybe I should just spend this turn healing? Oh yeah, using a Revive, because that's been working out quite nicely before. I mean, I say that with sarcasm, but it might be good to have one Pokemon alive just in case. But I guess that's not what I want to do, at least for now. Just gotta continue thinking long and hard about this. Long and hard. How many of you are impatient at this point in time? Sick and tired of me waiting around for myself in the past to actually make action. Thankfully, it could have been a lot worse. And thankfully, I've been cutting out quite a bit that's been too long and dull and hard to wait through. I'm not sure if you can tell what I'm even saying anymore. I just want to get done with this battle. I'll be straightforward with you guys. Ian was not as fun as I remembered. It doesn't help that I'm under-leveled, although there's other battles I've had in the past that being this much under-level hasn't been an issue, so I guess that's just the AI's doing his job. And this guy actually being legitimately challenging. But thankfully it's just me and the Raikou now. If I could figure out one little attack to get his health down just slightly more, that would have been awesome, but I don't think I want to push my luck. Don't want to accidentally faint it after all this time, not including the fail attempts that I haven't even included. I believe there was like 3 other attempts besides this one. And that's not even including the attempt from the last episode. Raikou, it would have been nice if you could have gotten the Pokeball just so we could sum things up, have a good time. Oh yeah, I guess I decided to use Sunny Day because 1, I don't have anything better to do. 2, it affects Thunder. Just like how in the rain, Thunder becomes more accurate, Sunny Day has an opposite effect on Thunder. At least in theory when I fought that, because I had to look it up. And it is true that Thunder's accuracy is lowered in the sunlight. This wasn't implemented until the 4th generation of Pokemon, and Pokemon Colosseum is a 3rd generation game. Which is a shame. It'd be very helpful if Thunder was less accurate at this point in time because of the sun. Fortress would have very well appreciated that. But we can't help what's done. Ugh. Yeah, Fortress would have really appreciated that Thunder missing. At least I was able to figure out that Rapid Spin could lower him down just a little bit more, so in the red health is probably the best staggering range I can get. Hindsight, I might have been able to get 1 more Rapid Spin in, but that would have been very risque. A lot of thought and consideration later, I decided to heal up Fortress. It may not look like it, but that took a lot longer than it needed to decide on that. Decided to go for 1 more Pokeball, I believe the Timer Ball, to save the day. Timer Balls always save the day, so we know how this is gonna go. Yay, the battle is finally over. We have defeated Ian, we snagged the Shadow Pokemon Raikou, we don't have to worry about him ever again. We at least don't have to worry about snagging the Shadow Pokemon ever again. Your struggle to get here was all in vain. The Shadow Pokemon produced here are already gone. And of course, that includes the ultimate Shadow Pokemon I created. Sure, have your evil laugh while you run away like a little sissy. And this data ROM we get out of it will be pretty useful, but more useful than that, TM26. Oh my gosh, TM26. Yes, it's Earthquake. The fairly powerful, yet perfectly accurate, fan-favorite ground-type move. And we finally get it. I know exactly who I'm gonna teach this to. Earthquake is good on its own for that reason, but in double battles it hits everything, including your own partner, so it kinda plays into role to have Pokemon that either know Levitate or are Flying type to complement the partner you have with Earthquake. Which may make it seem kinda odd that I'm giving it to Viagra, considering that's one of the few Pokemon on my team that have Levitate. But let's be honest, Earthquake on a ground type when the ground type only knows Sand Tomb, I gotta go for it. And yes, that's a one-way exit. And yes, this alarm would still be playing, as you can tell by the red filter. Aren't you glad that the music went out in here and you don't have to listen to either the alarm or me complaining about it? Anyways, that's about all I really believe we're going to get around to in this episode. Oh, we did get an email, but I'm going to ignore it for now because you actually don't have to pay attention to it. And then we'll look at that email in the next episode. And I get the feeling that email will give us an idea of what we're supposed to do in the next episode. So this has been Jackie K, and I'll see you all then. Hope you have a good day. Because if you don't know, Thunder is a very powerful but fairly inaccurate move. But in the rain, it becomes perfect accuracy. I believe in this generation it's just 100%, but in later accuracies? Really? Anyways, I bring Jump Pluff my Puff Luck, even though I should have said Jump Pluff my Puff Luck. And I said it twice and didn't correct myself. At least in theory when I said that, because it is true that Thunder's accuracy is lower than the Sunlight, but it's not implemented until the 4th generation, and Pokemon Colosseum is a germ. Sure, it's the germ generation. Take of that as you will.